this is Jim Hawk from Team Hawk Realty. Today I want to talk more about the listing process, and I want to continue on. Last video we talked about the listing agreement. This one I want to talk about a continuation of that, which is the data form. The data form is an important sheet that must be filled out correctly. Quite often I see agents go through this form, they're in a big hurry to get it filled out. They miss important information. That information may be the difference between your house getting sold or not getting sold, and it may alleviate some problems, during the sales process or even after the sales process. So I really think it's important to take our time, go through that sheet, and make sure it's filled out 100% correct. Part 1 of the residential data sheet provides a lot of very important information. It's information that is used by the agents and the buyers to get more knowledge about your home. The information on the first page is we have your address, the legal description of the property, the postal code, ownership of the property, the correct spelling of the names, zoning, lot size, is there a survey, how many acres is the property, the exact lot dimensions, directions of how to get to the house, the contract start date, we need the contract expiry date, what closing date that you prefer, like a possession date, your taxes, your assessed value, are there any local improvement taxes that are registered against the property, is the property on leased land, is it freehold, correct spelling of your names along with a section as the house is rented. There's more detailed and accurate, the more detailed and accurate all of this information can be, the better the sale of your home will go. To continue on with that, there's going to be pages 2, 3, 4, and 5 that all deal with features of the home themselves. So examples of this would be, what type of house is it? Is it a rowing house? Is it a semi-detached home? Is it a condo? Is it a detached home? The style of the house, is it a bungalow, 2-story, split level, contemporary, modern? When was the house built? Do we know the exact age of when the house was built? Services to the house or services to the lot line. Examples of gas, water, sewers, hydro. Are there any restrictive covenants that run with the land? Are there any encroachments? Is there any environmentally protected property? Are there any outbuildings? What is the topography? Is it level? Is it sloping? Are there trees on the property? What are any other site influences? Access to the property, exterior finishings. Is there a pool? Is there a garage? Is the garage single car garage or 2-car garage? Driveway, is it a single driveway? Is it a double driveway? Paved driveway, unilock driveway, gravel driveway. Roofing, the age of the roofing, the type of roofing. Is it a flat roof with a membrane or flat roof with tar and gravel? Is it shingled? Are they 35-year shingles? Is it a metal roof? All that information is so important for the buyer, and it's important to get this information correct. The square footage of the home. How big is the main floor? What is the square footage of the finished area in the basement? And what is the total square footage of the home? What kind of heating source is it? Is it gas, hydro? Is it propane? Is there alternative power? Are there solar panels or wind panels? Any HVAC features that we have, central air conditioning, air cleaners. Are there any rental items, hot water tanks? Now we're starting to see more furnaces, air conditioning, and other components of the HVAC systems being rented. Some of those create an issue on closing, so we need to know about those. If your furnace is a rental, we need to know about that at the time of the listing. We need to know how much it's going to cost per month and what the payout is going to be, because in those cases, quite often a buyer is going to ask for that to be paid out on closing, so we need to know what exactly that's going to be for you. The age of the furnace. Home inspectors go into a home and they tell you that the economic life of a furnace is 20 years. Is your furnace, at the end of its economic life? Is it brand new? That's going to be very important for a buyer. Age of an oil tank. Is the oil tank brand new, or is it 20 years old and you're not going to be able to get oil put into the tank? Very important. Age of the plumbing. Age of the wiring. Is it on breakers? Is it on fuses? room sizes, locations of the room sizes, bathrooms. Is it a 2-piece bathroom or is it a 4-piece bathroom? What is it on the main floor? Is it on the lower level or is it on the second floor? All very important information when buyers are looking. You know, if the property is on waterfront, is it on Georgian Bay? Is it on Fairlane Lake? You know, is it on Little Lake? We need to know where the property is located, and we need to know what features there are. Is it a sandy beach? Does it have a dock? You know, is there a break wall? Again, very important information. Is it on septic? Is it on well? Getting towards the last pages, we like to sit down and write a nice written description of the property for the public. So we'll go into, you know, bedrooms, baths, some important features of the house. And some people like being part of that whole process. So if you like being part of that, I'm very open to having anybody sit down and help me write out the written notes that I want to make to the public. Then there's a section that is strictly for the real estate agent. So, you know, if there's a particular schedule that we need to put into the offer or something that we want to talk to the other realtors about, then there is a description there that we can access that for the other realtors. You know, then we get into chattels included, what's included in the house, you know, fridge, stove, washer, dryer, what's excluded from the house. You know, are there any light fixtures or any blinds or any window coverings? You know, maybe appliances that are definitely excluded from the listing. We need to have all that information. Again, all the info that you can have ready at the time of listing when you're sitting down with your agent is going to provide much better service to you. It's going to make the whole process run smoother. You're going to have less problems before, during, and after the sale. An important thing to remember is always disclose to your agent any major defects that you may have in the house. If you get water in the spring every year, let your agent know that you get water in the basement. It's going to come back to bite you in a legal proceeding if you don't let people know. If the roof is leaking, let people know. If the septic has had an ongoing issue and it's at the end of its time and you've had the repairman there every year for the last 3 years, let your agent know, because if you don't disclose these things, a buyer moves into the property, you know, your neighbor's going to become friends with that new owner. They're going to let them know that you have had these problems ongoing for years and you should have disclosed them. And the neighbor's going to end up thinking they're doing a good thing for the new buyer, but it's going to come back and it's going to, you know, hurt you in the long run. So always disclose everything that you know that you feel is important for any new buyer coming into your property. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about, any concerns, please feel free to call one of my agents, 705-527-7877. And remember, keep smiling and enjoy all the blessings that come into your life every day. Thank you very much for your time.